Welcome back to Offside Talk, everyone. Another wild 24 hours in football, and we've got some fresh stories that are absolutely packed with drama, tension, and a few surprises.
You're not kidding, Jess. Let's start with Spurs. They've reportedly turned their attention to Monaco's Magnus Akliouche. He's seen as a plan B if they can't secure Savinho. The price tag, around £47.5 million.
That's a solid plan B. Akliouche isn't as flashy as Savinho, but he's technically sound, smart on the ball, and versatile. It feels like a more pragmatic approach.
Especially considering that Savinho's valuation is pushing £70 million. Spurs might be better off going for someone with less hype, but more room to grow.
And Crystal Palace are moving in the opposite direction. They're reportedly interested in Southampton's Tyler Dibbling as a replacement for Eze. That's a bold shout. Dibbling is talented, but replacing Eze is no small task.
Dibbling's got the flair, no doubt, but the question is whether he's ready to fill that creative role week in and week out. Palace would need to manage expectations if they go that route.
Speaking of big names, Alexander Isak has finally broken his silence over his stalled Liverpool transfer. His Instagram post hinted that leaving Newcastle might be best for all parties. That's a statement.
It really is. When a player takes to social media like that, you know the tension is real. Newcastle are sticking to their valuation, but Isak clearly wants the move.
It's one of those moments where you feel like something has to give. Either Newcastle soften their stance, or Isak pushes harder. Maybe even a strike?
That's been floated, actually. There's buzz that Isak might follow the path of players who've gone on strike to force moves. It's risky, but it's been done before.
What's wild is how much Liverpool have already spent. Reportedly £291 million this window alone. Massive money, with big names like Florian Wirtz, Hugo Ekitike, and Brian Mbeumo coming in.
That kind of spending puts pressure on Klopp and the squad. You can't invest that much and not deliver silverware. And fans will expect results right out of the gate.
Not to mention the outgoings. Trent Alexander-Arnold and Luis Diaz both leaving were huge. It's like a full squad turnover.
In part 2, we'll get into more emotional moves like Nick Powell's new club, Vardy's potential Celtic return, and chaos at Marseille. Stay tuned.
All right, Ethan, let's dive into the next round of headlines. One of the most touching stories has to be Nick Powell signing for Bradford City, a former Man United prodigy coming back into the spotlight.
Absolutely. After leaving Stockport, he's joined Bradford just in time to face his old club. It's a great story of perseverance. He's still got that spark, and it's a sentimental homecoming.
Then there's Jamie Vardy, linked with a return to Celtic of all places. Brendan Rodgers might be looking for a reliable veteran to support their Champions League push.
At 38, Vardy's still got pace and an eye for goal. If he does go to Celtic, he'd be a nightmare for tired defenders in Europe. It's a smart move if they can make it happen.
And then there's Marseille, where things have just exploded. Adrien Rabiot and midfielder Josh Rowe reportedly clashed on the pitch after a loss. Now both have been transfer listed.
That's chaos. You rarely see something that public. Rowe's already in talks with Bologna. Rabiot, on the other hand, could attract Premier League interest. He's still got quality, but clubs will question his temperament.
This late in the window, teams might take risks they wouldn't earlier, and players like Rabiot could be seen as bargains if the price is right.
In part 3, we'll unpack Villa's move for Nicolas Jackson, Celtic's windfall from Ben Doak's transfer, and the Rangers' shakeup ahead of their Champions League clash. Don't go anywhere.
Let's keep it going, Ethan. Aston Villa have emerged as serious contenders to sign Nicolas Jackson from Chelsea. The move's still in early stages, but Villa want to add another striker.
And Jackson is an interesting one. He had flashes of brilliance last season, but didn't fully settle at Chelsea. At Villa, he might have more freedom, and he fits Emery's pressing system well.
Chelsea, meanwhile, seem open to letting him go. They're overloaded with attacking talent and might use the money to strengthen elsewhere.
Another interesting twist. Celtic are set to receive a big windfall from Ben Doak's transfer to Bournemouth. That sell-on clause could be worth millions.
That's smart business from Celtic. They've done well inserting those clauses in recent years. Doak moving for £25 million to Bournemouth is big for both clubs.
And just before kickoff in their Champions League qualifier, Rangers made a late squad switch. Jayden Mbeumo came in for Needham Bajrami. That's a bold move under pressure.
Mbeumo brings more defensive stability, but making that change right before the match can backfire if the chemistry's off. It'll be interesting to see how they manage it.
It's the kind of gamble that can define a European campaign. One tweak, one substitution, and your whole season shifts.
We'll wrap up in part 4 with a big picture view. Who had the best window so far? And which teams are under the most pressure heading into the final days of the market? Stay with us. All right, final stretch. Let's talk big picture. Who do you think has had the best transfer window so far?
I have to go with Liverpool. Even though they've spent a lot, their signings show intent. Wirtz, Ekitike, and Mbeumo are all serious quality. If they gel, it's going to be scary.
I'd say Spurs. They've not only brought in depth, but are thinking smart with options like Akliouche. Plus, keeping key players like Son before his eventual departure was massive.
True, and in terms of value, Palace and Celtic have done solid business, using funds wisely, preparing for the future, and staying competitive.
Now the flip side. Who's under the most pressure?
It has to be Newcastle. If they lose Isak and don't replace him properly, that's a massive blow. Plus, the ongoing saga is creating unrest.
I'd add Chelsea. Letting go of players like Jackson while still figuring out their best lineup, there's risk there. They can't afford another season of inconsistency.
And with the window closing soon, it's about making those final moves count. The next few days could shape the whole season.
And that's why we'll be back with more updates, analysis, and predictions. Only here on Offside Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Let us know in the comments, who do you think nailed this window, and what's the most underrated move no one's talking about?
Until next time, I'm Jessica.
And I'm Ethan. Thanks for tuning in.